2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline." Merry Christmas, everyone. What a year this has been for all of us, eh? 2019 rounded out pretty well for us after I ran my Redemption Run half marathon in November, and I really thought in 2020 I'd be able to handle a full marathon. After all, running 42 kilometers at 42 years of age, why not, right? I prayed to get a sense of where God would be taking me in 2020, what He would want me to think about and meditate on as I prepared and trained for a full marathon. God gave me an overwhelming feeling that my word for 2020 would be courage, and He gave me 2 Timothy 1:7. I didn't even blink because, yep, courage is what it would take to run a full marathon. Little did I know, though, that this would not be a word for a physical marathon, but for the marathon of life that would be 2020. And as Advent hit in 2019, I asked God something different. What did He want me focused on as I was taking the kids through Advent, getting ready for Christmas and New Year's? And He led me to the concept of finding favor. Luke 1:29-30 says, "Confused and disturbed, Mary tried to think what the angel could mean. 'Don't be afraid, Mary,' the angel told her, 'for you have found favor with God.'" The first Sunday of Advent here in Cambridge was hit by a snowstorm, and we all stayed home working on the Advent study that our wonderful Pastor Shelley had prepared for us all. Hannah, Jalen, and I read this passage together and chatted about what finding favor meant. Finding favor with God does not mean that life is easy, that you'll have lots of money and lots of stuff. It just means that God has entrusted you with a job to do to further His kingdom here on earth as it is in heaven. It means that God is inviting you into His work to minister to the world around you through word and deed. He had created you to do something special, and He was now calling you into that role. It hit me hard as a mama. Earlier in the fall of 2019, Hannah had come out as gay. She was brave and courageous as she knew that, as a conservative Christian, I would take some time getting used to this idea. My traditional dreams for my little girl were being adjusted. God had already primed me for this journey. I thank His name for that. I had been studying the church's response to the LGBTQ community for some time. I was re-looking at what I thought I knew, reading more than I can explain in a Christmas greeting, and seeking God's face on this topic as I was helping a few friends face this in their own journeys. Wow, my girl had found favor with God, and she had a job to do to bring the good news to this community, a community I would never truly understand with direct experience. I'm so proud of her as she seeks to solidify her identity in Jesus first and reconcile with how He created her. Hannah has a girlfriend named Lindsay. I laugh when I barge into the room while they're on a video chat, and I throw a mom joke at Lindsay. She tries hard not to show it, but I know she's laughing on the inside. I giggle as I watch Hannah's eyes roll to the back of her head, and I exit the room. After all, 15 is 15 no matter what. Hannah's time with online school brought up her second semester marks. She did a great job rounding out grade 9. She had a very boring summer. I figured it wasn't a problem for 15 because I could have taken her to Brazil, Egypt, Australia. Well, I couldn't actually have taken her, but if we had gone, it would still have been boring, as everything is to her these days. Grade 10 brought with it school, divided into quadmesters, spent both in school and online. Once adjusted to the situation, she finished the first quadmester successfully and is coping with math and law this quad. I'm proud of her as she's working hard to learn how to communicate with her teachers and with me as she self-guides through this difficult time. High school's tough enough without all these adjustments on top of it. Another adjustment both Hannah and Jalen had this year is that earlier in the year they welcomed a baby brother. No, not me. Bob and Jolene had Caleb in January. Jalen was thrilled that she wasn't the youngest anymore. It was tough not being able to see him much as he grew in the rapid way babies do. But with COVID measures in place, the kids would meet their dad at Papa's on Saturday mornings for a little bit, masking up each week to keep each other safe. Other than that weekly outing, Jalen and Hannah were stuck at home. Jay was not happy that I wouldn't let her sign up for social media earlier than the legal 13 years of age. Of old. Poor kid, such a boring life. COVID shutdown did bring a blessing, though. Jalen's anxiety and the tummy aches that came with it seemed to ease off. No more doctor visits, no more tummy remedies, no more anxious mornings. It was a wonderful reprieve while it lasted. The opening of school in September brought the anxieties back. In the push to get Jay back to class, we were colliding every morning. I hadn't seen such anger and misunderstood aggravation in her in years. When she was younger, her fuse was minute, and I never knew what was going to change my sweet Jalen Jekyll into the terrible Jalen Hyde. I was reliving this as I struggled getting Jay out of the door in the mornings, with never knowing who was going to show up. There were like two people in the same person. I called to arrange some therapy on the day when I called the attendance line to say she wasn't coming, and I was sobbing into the machine. I'd had enough. So I needed to find someone my precious kiddo could talk to. That night we went to the park for a walk. As we headed home in the dark, I told Jalen that I'd be making arrangements for a therapist and I'd need her to be honest. I told Jalen that if it was because I was in the online dating world and that was bothering her, she needed to be honest. No potential stepdad would ever be worth this anxiety, and I would shut down my accounts immediately. She put her tiny hand into mine and said, "No, it's not that. Never mind, it doesn't matter." When I heard the breath go out of my precious child, as she sighed with the weight of the world on her shoulder, I knew there was something going on. I stopped and pulled her close. I reminded her that she's made in the image of God and she is valuable beyond all measure. Whatever she had to say would be safe with me. Jay hugged me as she explained that she is not a she. Jalen is a transgender young man. I have a son. Once the reality of it all set in, and it was said out loud, Jay knew he was not going to be abandoned or devalued because of this. We could work on the anxieties together. Jay was not changing names, and any pronouns will do for now. I'm calling him Jay and using he, him pronouns simply to help my brain wrap around it all. We have found favor. God is definitely calling these three Nugents to be available and a welcoming, safe place for anyone within the LGBTQ plus community to come, find an ally, a mom hug, and the love of Jesus. Our home will be a safe place for anyone in this community to come and just be. Our job is to join God in what He's already doing in drawing this community to Himself, restoring and healing people who have traditionally been so hurt by the church in general. Jay said to me the following week, "Mom, thanks for bringing us to CCC. They might not understand me, but I know they'll love me." That's my heart's cry. Even when I don't understand, let me be a bulwark of Christ's love. I'm so honored to be blessed with the loan of my daughter and my son. I will parent them the best I know how. For some reason, I have found favor. This year sure has made the single and single mom stand out. I have loving parents, amazing siblings, and a tremendous church family. But I'm still a single mom. In the evenings when the tough conversations come, when the theology is studied, and when the kids wonder, will they really still love me? I take up the task of assurance alone. I recognize that I'm not alone as I have Holy Spirit right here with me, but you know what I mean. That tight hug, the hand squeeze, the kiss on the forehead to tell me it'll all be okay is just not there. I was blessed to meet some great guys this year through online dating, but great doesn't mean compatible. So yes, my heart is lonely. I wonder when it will be my time. I try not to focus on it too much, for I have enough to be doing in shepherding my children, but I do have a maybe one day hope in my heart. Until then, and even after then, I will remain a faithful and passionate Jesus follower, re-looking at everything I thought I knew, seeking godly counsel and support as I parent the kiddos that God gave me. I try not to worry too hard that I never physically ran the marathon, but I certainly ran a mom marathon, a spiritual marathon this year. I have truly run the race of courage. Even in sharing this Christmas greeting with you, I know I need to be armored up and prayed up, as many of you will need to process this with me, and some of you will just want to. We might not end up seeing eye to eye, but no matter whether I understand you or not, I will love you. I promise, as Mum Hug representative Sarah Cunningham says, no one has searched the heart of God, the Word of God, or themselves more than the gay Christian or their mother. If you're needing a safe place to vent, cry, or just be, contact me. I will walk with you as you seek to know God and understand just who He made you to be, whether you're in the rainbow community or not. You are safe here. You are made in His image and valued beyond measure. If you don't know God, come. He's more than you could ever imagine, and His gift of forgiveness, love, and acceptance is free. So I close with this challenge to all of you heading into Advent. Seek God's face and what He has for you in 2021. If you're confused and disturbed like Mary was, fear not. Have courage, and you may just find that you find favor with Him as He entrusts something very special to you. But as for me and my family, we will serve the Lord. 1, 2, 3.
Merry Christmas, everyone!
Get out of here.